Hello ladies and gentlemen, Captain Shaq here, and welcome to my X3 Albion Prelude tutorial. Now this is just the introduction portion of the video. As you can see, there's a menu here, and you can click on multiple options to bring you to the section that you may specifically be looking for. Now these videos are going to be a set. This is the one big video. There's going to be smaller ones that talk about very specific sections of this one that people may be looking for. So, X3 Albion Prelude, real quick. If you don't need to know what the game is or the things you can do to mod it, the real basics, the breakdown, if you will, then click one of those buttons and head to the section you're looking for. I'm going to talk about what this game is. So this is the introduction. This is what the game is about and what you can do to change it. So X3 Albion Prelude is a sandbox space kind of strategy game. It is a big sandbox, and you can mod it in so many different ways. You can add ships, you can add scripts that make the AI much more difficult or function a different way, or maybe they're very aggressive on the Empire scale, while the Empires will invade each other. You can, like I said, add custom ships from, say, the Star Trek franchise or Star Wars. You can change how the world behaves in almost every way. And it's really impressive. Now, X3 Albion Prelude is the game that we're going to be talking about. Now, I believe installing mods for the other X3 series games is fairly similar. I know X Terran Conflict is exactly the same way, just about in every way. So how this works, now there was X Beyond the Frontier, which was the original one, then you had X2 The Threat, X3 Rebirth, X3 Terran Conflict, and now X3 Albion Prelude. Now those are all the games in the series. So when you go to install, like if you're going to install specific ships, I'll get into that later, but I'll get into that later when it goes to the installing specific ships. Just keep in mind that there are 3 different games that are part of the X3 series. Now I know this isn't the latest game. There is a game called X Rebirth out there, and it is pretty bad. I didn't like the design decisions they took. That's why I've decided to go ahead and go back to the X3 games that I enjoyed the most, X3 Albion Prelude, and make these tutorials. All right, let's get started. These are the tools that you're going to need to install ships and scripts mostly. Now, this is for the individual installs. Okay, so tools you're going to need. This is called the X3 Plugin Manager. Now, mine's going to have a lot more stuff than yours is because I've spent quite a bit of time actually modding my game and getting it to the point where I want it. Not quite there yet, but almost. There is a selection of scripts that I have installed from here to here. Then there's all my ships I've installed. I'm taking this in a Star Trek kind of route. So I have a lot of Star Trek ships installed from the Galaxy class, the Intrepid, I've got a Miranda, so there's a lot of ships here. And then I've got a couple of archives, which are zipped packages of mods that I've installed, mostly scripts. Actually, both these are scripts. Okay, so to get this, there's a link down below. This is called the X Universe Plugin Manager. This was made by a community member, Crow. Now, I have the web link open here. Now, this is where the link will take you once you click it. If you want to download what I just showed you, and you need to download this button right here, you click that, and it'll start downloading. It's a fairly small download, be done really, really quickly. Once you've installed it, I recommend you install, I don't know if it asks you if it does it automatically, but it'll have 4 packages, 4 software programs you can use. Now, I recommend installing them all if it asks you. I don't remember if it asks you or not. But the one you're going to be using the most is the Plugin Manager Lite, which is this right here, and the Package Creator. If you want to, the Package Creator is there to balance ships. So let's see here, see if I can open one real quick. Let's open the Enterprise B. So it opens up and it gives you all the statistics on the ship itself. I will go into that under the Balancing Ships section. But these are the tools that you need. That wraps it up. You really just need this to install scripts and to install basic ships, individual ships. Okay, so hello ladies and gentlemen. This one is all about how to install individual ships, custom ships. Now, in X3 Albion Prelude and in the last couple X3 games, ships are referenced on the forums as XSPs if you're talking about very specific individual ones. Let me go ahead and open that up here. So there's a link in the description below for the list, like the almighty list of X3 Albion Prelude and Terran Conflict and Reunion ships. And as you can see from this list, and it's pretty extensive. Let me go all the way to the top. Alien Tech Inc. was kind enough to actually go through the forums and build this list quite a while ago. I don't know how often this has been updated, or if it's been updated recently, but the links do work. And let's just see here. There's all these Babylon 5 ships, Star Wars. These are all Star Wars ships right here, from the X-Wing, the TIE Fighter. There's the Headhunter. That's a good one. Star Trek ships. Now, they're not all high quality. I mean, there's a ton for almost every franchise you can think of, and then a bunch of custom ones as well. But they aren't all the best quality. Let me go down to the Star Trek ships. And they don't all work too well. Now, some of them work beautifully, but you have to test them and figure out which ones work for you. I don't recommend installing too many. Don't go in and download 100 of these and install them all and expect them to work, because the issue is when you install something, let's take the Miranda class, for instance. We'll go ahead and download that just by clicking it. If it doesn't download when you click it, right-click it and click Save As. Sometimes it'll just open up a blank web page or a blank tab for your website, for your browser, and it won't download. So you got to right-click Save As. Once you get it download, it'll be an XSP file type, which is why people call them XSP ships on the forum. If you install too many of them, though, they'll overwrite each other, because I guess there's some type of file, I think it's called the tship file, that's been mentioned on the forums a few times, and there's another one, I forget what it's called, but they'll overwrite each other, and then the ship won't show up, or it'll be broken. So you need to test every ship you install after you install it. You also need to keep the number down to make sure they all work properly. One issue that I did have was I installed the Nebula class from Megatherian Monkey. Now, his models are fantastic, but I installed the Nebula that he has here, and it actually broke my ability to dock ships, the modded ships, together. So test your ships, spawn them in, test them, test ships docking with each other, test your other modded ships, make sure they will dock properly. 2 stations and 2 ships that you install. That's why I always say don't install too many ships unless you're willing to really go through the work. All right, so we got our ship, the USS Reliant, which was, I believe, the Miranda class. If you watched my tools section of this video, you should have the X Universe plugin manager already installed. So go ahead and open the file that you downloaded. I'm opening mine now. If you don't have the manager open, this will actually open the manager, and then this box will pop up saying install package. You click install, it'll automatically install it for you, and you should be good to go. Now, there may be a pop-up when you do this that doesn't look like this, that asks you, do you want to play modified? And you want to click yes, or it may give you an error saying I can't install this because you're not on modified. Now, the way you turn your game into modified, go up to settings, go up to mode, and then click modified. So what modified means, when you click on vanilla, we'll click yes. The game will now run as if these mods weren't installed, and I'll be able to unlock the Steam achievements. I just disabled them all pretty much. If you play modified, you can't unlock the Steam achievements. Now, I play modified all the time for many different reasons, mainly because the mods make this game playable, much more playable, and a lot funner. I mean, they fix a lot of the problems that the base game has. So it's not even that I'm cheating, it's that I need these to make the game run properly in the way that I think it should run. All right, so everything's back enabled, and I'm playing modified. Your list will be much smaller. Actually, you shouldn't have anything in this list if you just started. So you've now gone modified, you've clicked your ship, you've installed it in. Now, I recommend you do this, because if you're going to have to test your ships, you're going to need to be able to cheat them in. So what you want to do is go to Packages, go to Package Browser, and this software already comes with Crow's other scripts, and there should be a cheat package in here. Let's see here, Cheat Collection Package AP is what it should be called, and you're going to want to go ahead and click that one, click install, and you can use his other ones too. I recommend all his scripts, they're pretty cool. Pick out the ones you want to use, install them, but this is a must-have. This is the cheat package. It's going to allow you to spawn your ships in. So you're going to click install. Yes, install. Okay, fantastic. Now, before we go into the game and cheat the ship in and test it out, we need to do one more thing. Now, this is something that people are having a lot of issues with on the forums. They are doing all the steps I've shown you. They're spawning in the ship, and it'll show up in the ship list, but when they spawn it into the world, there's no texture. There's nothing there. And the way that I've learned to fix this, and I couldn't find this on the forum anywhere, click the drop-down button here in the manager, and click on Terran Conflict, because you can actually switch between the two games, X3 Albion Prelude and Terran Conflict. So even if you have only Albion Prelude on Steam, if that's the only game you own, Terran Conflict should still show up in this drop-down box. Click it, give it a minute to switch over to the other game. Now, once this is open up the ship you're trying to install again. It'll ask you to install it. Click Yes, Install. And now you've installed it into the directory where Terran Conflict is located, which is actually the same grouping of files as Albion Prelude. And what I found is if I do this, that invisible ship bug is always fixed. It's never been a problem as long as I install the ship in the Terran Conflict folder like I just showed you and in the Albion Prelude folder. It's a neat trick that works for me every single time. All right, so let's go back to Albion Prelude. So we've got our ship installed in under both game tabs. We've got the script cheat package installed, so now we can spawn them in. We should be good to go. Now there's one more step we have to do. We're gonna go ahead and run the game, run X3 Albion Prelude, and I will do that right now. So what we have to do is we have to enable the cheating script functionality. It's actually quite easy. All we have to do is rename our pilot to a kind of a code, a cheat code, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know why you particularly have to do this. What you're going to want to do is go to your new game, pick whatever start you want. It doesn't matter. This is just to test everything. This isn't going to be your end-all start. So we'll just grab Humble Merchant. That's the one I always like to start with, because you normally don't get attacked by pirates when you're the humble merchant. So we'll hit escape past the intro movies. So what we're going to do is we're going to go under, give it a chance to load first. This game is capable of doing so much. There are scripts that will take over the AI and like run them as empires actually at war, trying to take over territory. There are, mining scripts if you want to be like a mining emperor. You guys will not see this incoming message. I have a mod called Combat Mod installed, so that's a different mod, and it installs a different way, and I'll explain that later for the bigger mods. Okay, so what we're going to want to do is we need to enable that script functionality. So you're going to go to Personal. Now my UI is a little different because it's modded, but all the buttons are exactly the same. So the top button under Personal, you go under Advanced, go under Change Name, and type in, and I'll put it in the description, just like I'm typing it, there shall be wings. There needs to be capitalized, everything else is lowercase, no spaces. Now when I hit enter, my game will freeze up for a second, just like it just did. Right now it's frozen. Then it'll stop and everything is good to go. Now what you have to do is, you can't just quit. You have to, because you need to restart the game once you do this, and then you can test everything. This will enable the script, the cheating script that we just installed. And this will enable a bunch of other things. I don't know all the details. This is just one of those things you have to do. But you need to save. Now in normal X3, you can't save unless you dock. So we're gonna take our slow ass over to the station right here in front of me, and we're gonna go ahead and dock. Requesting permission to land, there's our docking clearance. We'll speed up time real quick using CETA, which is J, by the way, if you are really new to the X series. We'll fly in here and dock, and then we're going to save, and then quit the game and restart it. I believe you can actually just load the save. You don't actually have to quit the game. Hopefully I don't come in here too fast, but it looks like I did. Too fast, too fast. You have to hit the docking space at a certain speed or it won't let you dock. All right, we're in the station. We're gonna go ahead and go down here to save game. We'll make it my save 10 because I'm using the other saves. Now once the game saves, I'm actually gonna try this because I think this will work. Normally I close it, but load the save you just made. And that should reinitialize all the scripts, and that little code we typed in will be able to take effect like it's supposed to, and this will allow us to use the cheat script to spawn in our Miranda that we're trying to install. Once you've done that little cheat script, and once it's in the save, like what we just did, you're good. You never have to do it again. That's just one of those steps you've got to do. This is now our save where we can test everything. Okay, so we need to bind a key to the cheat script. So hit escape, go over to controls, go to interface at the top there and scroll all the way down, and you're gonna see a couple of new buttons down here, or maybe a bunch depending on what crow scripts you installed. I've got a few more than you may have. Here we go. Cheat, open menu. Yours will be not bound. Go ahead and bound it to something. I used a mouse button that I have, and then I held shift down. So I've got shift, mouse button 4. Once you have it set, hit that key that you just made, and it'll open a menu. So now in this menu, you can do a lot of things. You can reveal the entire map, you can spawn all kinds of ships, you can steal ships, you can take command of them if, say, you want to test them for whatever reason, or you just want to make cool videos. You can spawn in a bunch of ships and watch them battle it out. You can do all kinds of cool things. But what we're going to do is we're going to go down to create objects, create ship, and then you got to go through the list and find the ship you installed. Now, I already know the ship I installed is part of the Argon Federation. In a later video, or it's actually in the menu, you can click and it will take you to how to customize the ships you've installed, so you can choose what race they spawn in, like whose shipyard they'll be in, so you can buy them. All right, but what we're gonna do is I'm gonna filter Argon. I'm filtering for Argon ships because I know the Miranda is an Argon vessel. And as you can see, I've got a lot of modded ships in there, but there's our Miranda class. Once you click it, it'll say, where would you like to spawn it? Well, we can only see one place, where we're at. Let's spawn it on our Mercury, which is us. And then you can choose the race that you want it, who you want to own the thing. We'll just say Argon so it doesn't get shot. It'll ask you if you want to install default wares. I really don't care. Sure, why not? And there you go. It is spawned in. Now we just got to look at our sensors, which is the which is the period key. Let me mute this thing. All right, which is the period key, and then find the ship you just spawned, Argon Federation Miranda class, select it as a target. And now either you can fly over to it. Let me turn around, because it's behind us. There she is. Or once you have it as a target, hit F3 to change your camera to your target, and there you go. There is the USS Reliant, one of my favorite ships that I have modded in right now. Now I've gone in and I've actually balanced all the Federation ships, which I will teach you in another section on how to do it, but that's it. You just learned how to install scripts and ships. Scripts, you have to read the forum post on how, like, what specifically you need to do to activate them. Normally, just like that cheating one, it'll have a button you can press, or you have to go under controls and then, no, not controls, go under gameplay, here it is. Go under gameplay and say it's a script that changes the AI. Well, if you read their forum post, and I can't tell you how to do every one of these mods, but if you read their forum post and it says you need to go under the artificial life settings, well, it's under the gameplay menu right here. And there, I've actually got a couple in here. Abandoned ship spawner, combat mod, I have a couple of mods installed here. So, I have just taught you how to install custom vessels into the game. In the next guide, I'm going to teach you guys how to customize those ships and balance them. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this section of the video, or if you're watching just this video by itself, you can click the link down below to go to the almighty big giant video that'll teach you everything about modding X3 Albion Prelude that I know. Well, at least how to install mods, not how to actually mod the game yourself. That takes a lot more skill and talent than I have, and I'm just enjoying the mods that the community has already provided us. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.